Worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq hollering at you one more again. Magnificent. Listen, thank you all. Truly, uh, I love you. I could say that not only with all sincerity, but with total scope, right? I love not only every single man, woman, and child on this planet, but everything in existence. And that's just one of the benefits when you get to a certain level of spiritual maturity. I don't even want to denotate it as a certain level. Let's just say that's where I'm at, right? Uh, so I love you all, truly. Know that. And I appreciate you helping to build the worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. We have come a long way. Truly. Truly. I look around and I love that the moment I leave out of the house, right? Uh, my experience completely dispels the misery projected in mainstream legacy media, right? Um, it's really something how they focus so much energy on building this doom-filled, gloomy portrait of an existence, of a dystopian existence that they really want people to sink themselves into, right? And I just hope that everyone continues to grow as I know everyone has been. The numbers are continuing to explode exponentially every day. The numbers of people who are awakening and understanding that that's not something that is going to aid you in maintaining your highest vibrational frequency resonance, being your best self and living your best life as you most certainly deserve to do, right? So I wanted to say that. And a big part of that, right? Nice little segue. A big part of that, folks, is that we have really, truly got to start to take much, much better care of, to truly do a much better job of respecting and honoring our elders, right? Um, Certainly, always our ancestors as well by keeping them in our thoughts and our moments of homage and honoring. But one of the great ways that you can do that is by honoring your elders who are still here, right? Believe that your ancestors are watching how you're treating their children, right? So, did we get that all clear in our minds? Your elders of today are the children of your ancestors of yesterday. So, please understand that from the other side of the veil, your ancestors are paying close attention to how you are treating their children, who are your elders of today. Huh? Let that sink in for a minute. Right. not not to borrow too much from my man Ralph. But yeah, uh, please know that first of all, folks, it really is kind of logical that we would create a paradigm where we do most certainly a much better job of respecting and honoring and taking care of our elders, because you will one day be an elder, right? So maybe think about that before you're so quick to say, I can't wait till they get in a certain age. I'm going to shove them off to this retirement home, and I'll be done with them. No, that's not the way to think. Do you want someone thinking that way and acting that way toward you one day, right? Most likely not. So please, folks, let's pause on the urgency or the ease in which we pull the trigger, so to speak, on just shuffling off our elderly to some nursing home or elderly home or assisted living uh, home or whatever the facility is. First of all, not that all these facilities are this way, but in general, that's not the best life for a person, right? I don't know whether you've just been sinking into the posh commercials uh, about these places that paint such a wonderful picture. But I could tell you from the experience, not just of visiting multiple people in these places, but knowing uh, some individuals that may not, or taking a moment to get to know and to talk to some elderly folks who may not necessarily be members of my family, but they're still people whose perspective I'd like to get. And in doing so, yeah, they reflect that it's not the best living. Now, in general, most folks don't want to do a lot of complaining and whining, so they won't, sing you a sad song. But in, getting to understand the ins and outs of how these facilities work, it's simply not the most honored way that most folks can spend their last days on this planet, right? Um, I know it's not easy, folks, but when there's a way that you can keep your elderly with you, even if there's some care involved, you know, there was a time when if it took 6, 7, 8, 9 members of the family to pitch in, right, and to do whatever's necessary to lend a hand in order to give care for an elderly member of the family, right? And make sure that they're properly taken care of and that they get to live their last days in an honored way, then that's just what we did. But these days, it's often left to one or sometimes, in fact, too often, none, right? No one is willing to step up and take that on. You know what? Shout out to my sister who does an excellent job in assisting my mother, right? She she lives with my sister, and yeah, I would be remiss to not acknowledge that. And I just really want us to just take a moment when we're making those decisions to pause, right? And really, really think, is this how we want to go out, right? Is this the best way that I can do right by my parent or my aunt or uncle, whatever the case may be? And folks, I'm not suggesting always that, you know, people are just being dismissive or cold-hearted or anything of that nature. I know it's difficult, right? Often we're talking about situations where people don't have a lot of support in order to make that happen. So let's make this something that we think about not just as individuals, but collectively as a family. Not only that, how about maybe having an open enough forum amongst one another in our families where we start to talk about these things ahead of time so that there are plans in place and there is support enough of a support structure that we're not forced into decisions that we might not want to make, right? Again, folks, I know it can be very difficult in these situations, and sometimes there are even situations where there's just too much care involved um, that you need some professionals in that role, right? I understand that, but where it is possible, um, and especially if that's what the person wants, the elderly person wants, then we certainly want to increase the number of those whose wishes are honored in that way and get to remain with their family. But in general, right, not just in the care that is given to these folks or how they live. I mean, in general, like in passing, right? If you come across someone who is older, show a little respect, right? I understand that there are some some elderly people who make that hard. I had to laugh because I know, and I know we all know, um, some elderly people who make that a little difficult. And some of those terms come up, cranky or cantankerous or whatever label we might want to put on them. So I understand that as well, right? That's real. But in general, folks, really, we should honor our elderly and give a little bit of extra effort, right? If not, go that extra mile to show them as much respect and honoring as possible. And always keep in mind, one day that will be you, right? If you're able to live that long, that will be you, right? And how would you want to be treated, right? And again, I know it's esoteric, but that's real. On the other side of the veil, understand that your ancestors. So when you're doing those prayers or you're asking for something or in some way looking for some aid that might be from the unseen, understand there are a lot of factors that play in that. And part of it is how you have honored your ancestors by the way you honor and respect your elderly. Remember, the elderly in your life of today are the children of your ancestors from yesterday. And they're always paying attention to how you're treating their children. Wouldn't you? Right? Okay. Um, Man, I love you all. Thank you truly for helping to build the worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Please like, share, subscribe, support me not only on my YouTube channel, where you should certainly check out my community section for the powerful and unique information there that's not necessarily in the videos. But also, please, very important that you help me build up my rumble.com channel by supporting me there and subscribing there. Please do that. Check out my music on all the streaming platforms. Please buy the book, both books, currently available on Amazon.com in paperback and ebook. Um, and yeah, man, I really do truly appreciate all of your support. I love you all. Let's continue to build the worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq, I'm out.